Mm. Hi everyone, we're here with Laura. Hi Laura.
Hello.
You're broadcasting out to the world. Hey, I already mentioned in the first bit of today's broadcast a little bit of this story. So it's good we're doing this interview so you can set the record straight in case I misrepresented it at all. Um,
hmm
but basically, there's someone at your work that you've asked if they wanted to pray with you, and you've had your first time of praying with them, and there's yet to be a second time. And I just wanted to dig into that a bit. So, why did you ask this person to pray with you? What was their name? Sorry,
Rachel.
Rachel. So, what was it about Rachel, and why did you feel prompted to ask her to pray with you?
Um, well, actually, a couple of years ago, I was working at Landilo, and that's when I first met her. And through a few times that I went on outings outside of work. I had a few conversations with her about church and how she used to go to church, and just we had a few conversations back then, and then yeah, she always would say she still has a faith, but she's just not practicing it. She still believes God's out there, and every now and then she will pray. So this year, when I came back to Landilo, I reconnected with her, and I just knew from her background that she has had experience with prayer before, and thought, I actually do want to spend a lunchtime praying for kids at work. I already decided I wanted to commit to that myself, and thought, why not ask her if she wants to join me in that.
Mm.
And yeah, that's pretty much how it all happened.
And so, when you asked her, what was that like? How did she respond?
Yeah, I wasn't sure where she was at this year because I didn't have a conversation with her it was since like 2 years ago. Um, so, but I asked her if she wanted to pray with me at lunchtime, just wanting to pray for the kids because she connects with so many kids, and in the school, because she, as an office lady, she knows all the kids,
Mm.
and she straight away said, yeah, of course, sounds good. and
Yeah.
just um and she's like, oh yeah, that would be really good because the kids really need God, and they
Isn't that amazing?
um
Mm.
need that prayer over them. So yeah, I was really excited to hear that response.
So good, Laura. And I think, whether it's someone who, in her case, has like like she used to go to church and she describes herself as a believer in God, which Australia is full of those people who used to be people who went to church, or whether there's someone who is yet to have any sort of connection with the church. I think it's just a great story because like it's not like you randomly asked anyone to pray with you. It was someone who showed favor to you in the past and opened up to you, and was welcoming to that conversation. And so, like that's what Jesus says, that there will be people peaceful towards us, and that we should, if we're going to take risks and invest, they're really good people to do that with. And so you asked, and now you're praying with her, which I'm sure is like, having a great effect on her faith. And then, but also, yeah, I just think it's a wonderful application of those basic principles of looking for people of peace, and thinking of a way you can give them an opportunity to respond to God, and also on top of that, it's awesome to pray for kids. So
Yeah.
that's that's really cool. And so, how did that first session go when you prayed with her?
Yeah, I think at first it was, I think she was feeling a little bit awkward because it hasn't, I mean, it's been a long time for her, and she's like, "Oh,
Mm,
how do you want us to do this?"
mm,
Um, but once um, we started, I was like, "Well, it's okay. We can just what what are some children that you think really need prayer at the moment?" And then we just had a good discussion about that beforehand, and then um, yeah, and then she just asked if I could start first, and then so I um, yeah, and just it was just really beautiful to hear her prayer. She after I prayed, hearing her pray, and she felt comfortable after to go ahead, and yeah, it was just I could tell that she has had experience of praying before, and but it's interesting that I'm guessing it wasn't. It's been a while since she's prayed, and so she
mm,
felt a bit nervous at first. But once she started, she just continued, and it was just really beautiful to hear.
mm.
Even just yeah, just her love for the kids that she has, and just sharing that with God. Um,
That's so
yeah,
wonderful, Laura. That's encouraging. And I think, God's used you to almost, I feel like reconnect her a bit to her love for God. And I think that's just so good. There's an element of this we need to talk about because it's just like, what? That's weird. It turns out we now know that as you are reaching out and praying with this lady. She's the mum of a student in St. Clair High School that Kiara just happens to have reached out to and is reading the Bible with her. So, um, how on earth did you make this connection? It's such a cool connection, isn't it?
yeah, definitely just God ordained. Um,
Mm,
so um, yeah, Kiara was mentioning the first people that she was um, praying with. Didn't say names at that point. So I didn't make any connections until um, one day at work. I was talking to Rachel, and she said, "Oh, I saw on Facebook that you're friends with Peanut." And I was really confused, didn't know who Peanut was. Turns out that's Kiara's nickname um, at school. And she said, "Oh, Kiara's praying, or actually reading the Bible with Millie at the moment. She's going to go meet up with her today." And I was like, "Oh, what?" Like,
so
that's
amazing.
amazing. And just, yeah, it was just really cool how that
Mm,
all happened. And and through that, she's been mentioning a lot as well of how what a blessing Kiara has been to Millie, and that Millie's been through a lot, and um, that she really needs someone, a positive role model for her, or
mm,
someone that can be there for her. So
mm.
it's just been really nice hearing another side of it as well, just seeing how
Yeah.
mum is affected by what Kiara is doing too, um,
Mm.
and then being able to pray for Millie as well together.
It's so good. It's so good. And I don't actually know what it was about Millie that led Kiara to read the Bible with her. But I'm pretty sure, like, she wasn't identifying as a Christian at the time, and I don't know where she stands right now. But I know she listens really well in Scripture because Kiara brings her to Scripture. But I just love in two different settings, you both, felt prompted by God to take a risk in some way to connect with someone, and and they just happen to have this connection, and you both go to St. Clair, and I just think it's awesome. Like, I just love this stuff. It's really, really good, and I think it's just an encouragement that God's at work, isn't he? And God's at work in people's lives, and I guess we should all have our eyes open to look for people God may be wanting to us to partner with and pray for, and reach out to. So thanks so much for sharing this morning. This morning, well, tonight, but it'll be shown in the morning. And Laura's taken some time out of her report writing to do this, so thanks for that. Why don't I just close this off by praying, and just praying for